Armins and Cynthia, I just wanted to thank you both so much for coming out and skiing with Sarah, Scott, and I in Mount Hood. It was a pleasure working with your whole family and meeting Alex and Lily and having you all together. I just wanted to send something quick. We didn't really, this wasn't really about you guys, it was about the kids, but I wanted to give you just a quick little view of your own skiing and a few things to think about. You guys obviously are doing a lot of free skiing, and Armin's had some heli skiing. I don't know about you, Cynthia. You guys are good, strong skiers, and playing off-piste and doing a lot of things with your skiing is where you are. There's a little switch with our technique from powder or off-piste skiing to carving. Now, when they're kind of almost opposite in some regards. In carving, we want to resist the turn and push, and we want to relax and almost absorb the transition or between the turns. We need to be very level and balanced with our shoulders side to side, standing quite strong in the outside ski. When we're skiing the bumps or just cruising around in softer snow or for sure in powder, we kind of absorb the turn or sink in the turn, okay, and kind of almost pop up or try to get up and out of this soft snow or move vertically between bumps or cruds or things to be into our next turn. And we can be a little bit lazy with standing on 2 feet, or it's not as important. For sure in the powder you want to be a little bit more two-footed. So you have to make that switch, and with your kids racing, these are the things that you have to think about. And again, you're both really good skiers. I'm going to just show you a little bit about what I'm talking about and what's going on with your skiing and see if it makes sense. First, this is you, Cynthia. You're making some turns. I like you have a great pole plant. You actually look down the hill very well. It's very strong skill for you. Both your shoulders and your eyes are positioned down the hill, which is excellent. Great flexion in the ankles. You're balanced fore and aft. What you can see, though, as I'm talking about in terms of your levelness, both at the hip. Both at the hip and at the shoulder. It sometimes tends to dip in. You tend to pick up just a little bit of pressure on your inside foot. You tend to be a little bit two-footed, and you need to clean that up for your carving ability. And then as we go through here, you can see what I'm talking about. You come up in between the turns, and then you're sinking down through the turn. Up in between the turn, and sinking the hip down through the turn. And when I talk about resisting, all right, you kind of want to be relaxed, and your hips will come up, but you'll be more absorbing the transition. And here is where we have to start to resist, all right, and push down on this foot. And this is where our leg actually gets longer as we resist the turn. The more we can resist, the more we'll start to bend the ski. And that'll start to develop more pressure, and then with more pressure you'll start to push that knee in and create more edge angle here on your ski, both by moving your hip in and your knee. The farther you start to, the more you create those angles, the more you're going to have to come back with your upper body to get level with the shoulders and crack the crackers, so to speak. And Andrew and Alex can tell you what that means. So in any regard, really good stuff. But as you can see, sinking in the turn, coming up in between, sinking in the turns. And you'll still have that little bit of up move, but it's only because your hips are over your feet, not because you're extending your leg in between the turns. You need to push on the ski, start to get really strong against the ski to bend it, because we want to bend it. We want to get our knee and hip in to put it on edge. The next step in your skiing is edging and pressure, because your fore-aft balance and your general discipline with your hands and your upper body are quite good. You have a little tendency to bank in occasionally and just be a little, that's more because you're just comfortable on 2 feet. So great stuff. Focus on that, and let's jump ahead to you, Armand. You're skiing quite well. I really liked what I was seeing with your skiing in general. Biggest thing, a little different than Cynthia. You have a tendency to generally look, down the hill, but you do follow the skis a little bit more with your shoulders. That could be because you tend to make a bigger turn, or you're comfortable making a bigger turn. I mean, look at that. That's really nice. You just have to be a bit cautious. If you round the shoulders or come around too much, you start to bank in, and this is where you pick up just a little bit too much pressure on the inside foot. All right, not too dissimilar to Andrew, who occasionally does that as well. He'll come through the turn too much with the upper body. All right, start to look across the hill too much, and then he gets this kind of laid over with the shoulders banked in, and he picks up a little too much pressure on the outside ski. Now, it's really important that we get a really strong angle out over the outside ski, and that's what you're going to need to work on. Just have a little more commitment to the outside ski when you're carving. You don't sink as much as Cynthia. You get good extension there at the top of the turn, but you are compressing more in the turn. I would like you to play around with resisting and pushing down on the ski through the arc. I think you'll start to find a really interesting feedback and power if you're pushing down, pushing down, pushing down as the arc develops. And towards the end, you have a tendency, like most skiers, to sink and absorb the turn, and that takes away from the carve. That's all. Okay, but you move between your skis, your turns really well, and you get great length extending into the top of the turn, which is nice. You have generally strong fore-aft balance through flexion of your ankle, which is exceptional. Just a little bit more, a little stronger resist or push in the turn through the bottom of the turn, and you have to watch following your skis too much. Just a little bit more with the shoulders down the hill, and staying committed to that outside ski, especially in your long turns. I didn't see it as much in your shorter turns, but great job, great skiing with both you and Cynthia, and look forward to working with you guys again in the future.